Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope the show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. But we got some things we got to talk about, okay, guys? We got some breaking news or some things that just broke over the last hour or so. Y'all have been sending me things. I really do appreciate it. It's been a very busy day, okay? I am trying to do as much catch-up as I can. Trust me, there's going to be more stuff coming out tomorrow and a lot of coverage going on tomorrow. But nonetheless, like I said, this thing just keeps getting wilder and wilder, and things just keep getting stranger and stranger. And now I want to know, what the hell is this all about? Okay? So we're not going to be here for a very long show. This is going to be a short show, but I wanted to give you guys the updates revolving around this. And there's some information here that I think is very interesting that could mean something or could mean nothing at all. Let me just say that again. Could mean something or it could mean nothing at all. Now, before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it, do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, please make sure you hit that follow button on those platforms, okay? Or that like or whatever they say on those platforms, okay? Because they're all various demands and things that you need to do, okay? But also make sure you are subscribed here on my main channel here, right here on YouTube. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there. And make sure you go over and check out Pascal Raw. Pascal Raw. It's a new podcast I'm putting out every single Sunday. And we got another one coming out this Sunday. I'm really looking forward to it. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification on all platforms, on all those channels, so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, okay? That would be greatly appreciated. Hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys, we got to get into this. Now, here's the thing, all right? Something just happened, and it's very interesting, which is causing a lot of people to wonder what the F is really going on here. Something odd just happened, okay? Now, as you guys already know, we have dealt with the Diddy trial. Yeah, we haven't talked about the Diddy trial in a little bit because it's pretty much done until he's sentenced, right? He's only going to be in prison for a few years, but it's not going to be a whole lot of time. Let's just be completely real, okay? But nonetheless, Diddy trial happened. The prosecution that was leading that whole thing was the feds. And that main person, or one of the main lead attorneys, was that of Maurene Comey. She is also the daughter of former director of the FBI, James Comey, who happened to be fired by Trump when Trump was in office, okay? So that's something to think about, okay? That's just something to think about for now. Just keep that in the back of your brain, in the back of your mind for the time being, okay? So the daughter of James Comey, Maurene Comey, is leading not only the Diddy trial, but also is one of the lead prosecutors that got Epstein locked up in the first freaking place. And then, out of nowhere, today, something very random happened. Let's not forget, Pam Bondi, okay, sat here saying that she's looking at lists and the people need to know and it's going to blow everybody's minds. Get ready for some craziness, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we find out later there is no list, right? Trump goes out here and is like, I don't understand. Why is everybody so upset about this stuff? You guys need to understand, like, what the heck? You guys need to get over it, right? Yeah, he's the one who's been out here talking about it and pushing it during his campaign, etc. Right? Just so you know, all right? But you got to understand, Epstein got locked up, and Ghislaine, and Jizzy got locked up for a very specific reason. And the people that actually were spearheading this were the likes of Maurene Comey, the same lawyer that was prosecuting and was the lead prosecutor in Diddy's trial. Now, the craziness has ensued. More and more speculation is popping off because of one thing and one thing only. Maurene Comey has been fired. She has been let go and kicked out of the U.S. Attorney's Office by Pam Bondi and Trump. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be wondering what the hell is going on here and why is this happening? What is going on? Could this mean that there's a cover-up? Maybe. Could it mean that they performed poorly with the Diddy trial and they looked like Boo Boo the Fool? They made the feds look like Boo Boo the Fool? Maybe. Many questions are rolling out here in these streets. You got to remember, someone's head has to roll. That's just kind of how America works. Okay? That's just how we work out here in these streets. There's always got to be a villain. There's always got to be a bad guy. There's always got to be somebody who looks really, really bad, who takes the brunt, takes the weight of the failure that has been done by the feds. Now, we're going to talk about a few things. Like I said, yes, we are talking about Diddy. We are definitely going to be talking about Diddy here in just a minute. And it's just specifically about the trial itself and the performance done by the feds, which, by the way, let me repeat this again, was spearheaded and led by Maurene Comey, which, by the way, she's a damn good lawyer. From what we've gathered, from what we understood, and from what I've heard through the grapevine about her performance inside that courtroom, apparently she's a damn good lawyer. But that particular case did not fly too well now, did it? With Diddy. It did not. It did not do very well. Okay? The feds actually kind of, more than just kind of, they definitely fell on their faces because all the charges that they were trying to get Diddy caught with did not stick. He was able to dodge those things, which we can all sit here and wonder if he paid people off or not. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the feds, I think, over-delivered, overshot, and overcharged Diddy because of the evidence that was presented. It wasn't good enough. In fact, like we've talked about a million times before, there were people that should have shown up. Why didn't they bring in KK? Why didn't they bring in Chef Jordan or any of these other people? Why didn't they lead on the pew-pew charges even more? Those kind of things need to be talked about and asked. But at the end of the day, the feds look like a damn fool. And somebody's head has to freaking roll, and it happens to be Maurene Comey. Let's get into this, okay? And let's be real. Trump didn't really like James Comey. Got rid of him lickety-split in the first term. Said, bye, you gone. See you later, buddy. And now, Maurene Comey, who was in there doing whatever she could to try to take Diddy down, it wasn't good enough. Long story short, it was not good enough. Okay? So, Maurene Comey, a federal prosecutor in Manhattan and the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, has been fired from her job in the Southern District of New York, according to people familiar with the situation. Comey was a prosecutor in the case against the accused S-tier Jeffrey Epstein, and more recently against Sean Diddy Combs. Now, here's the thing. Jeffrey Epstein, that's a big trial, and that's a big situation. So much that he got himself in so much trouble that he gone now. He has left the planet. He is no longer here. His soul has crossed over to, I'm sure, the fiery pits of hell, that dirty, dirty mother lover. Okay? But let's keep it real. She got one of them right, but she missed the mark with Diddy. for sure. So the reason of her firing was not immediately clear, which I still want to know. Is it because, like I said, I think the streets right now are talking because the timing is everything. Let me repeat that again. This timing is everything. If it really was specifically only about Diddy, why wouldn't they have fired her ass after the trial and after he was found not guilty on those charges, the STing and the racketeering? Why did they not say, you know what? Thank you so much, Comey. Okay, and maybe some other of the other six pack of white women, all of them might be, might get fired here soon. But why didn't they fire him a couple weeks ago? Why didn't that happen? It's weird that it's happening right now. Oh, we don't have the Epstein file. Oops, the list doesn't exist, right? Oh, and by the way, he didn't off himself. Somebody else did that. Or he didn't off himself, or he did off himself. I'm sorry. It wasn't an M, right? Remember all that? Two double whammies that happened back to back. And of course, right after that, she's gone. Head attorney, not only just for the Diddy trial, but also for J. Epi. You know for a fact, you see, this is the thing. This is the reason why people are going to start asking questions. Okay? This is when the starts playing in your head a lot because it's like, wait a second, the timing is odd. I get it. If she got fired solely because of her performance with the Diddy trial. But I don't know. Seems a little bit odd, don't you think? That as soon as they go, oh, we don't have a list. And then Trump goes, well, there's a list, but, it was made by the Democrats, those damn Democrats, right? Why you guys even care about it? You're dumb if you care about this. You're weak. You're weak if you care about wanting to know who's on the list. You're bad people if you want to know what's on the list, right? That's what happened yesterday and today. He's been turning his back on his most loyal of followers, okay? The most MAGA of MAGAs, okay? MAGAteers, real talk, hardcore MAGAteers. Oh, MAGAteers, hardcore MAGAteers. And what, for some weird reason, he's saying all that kind of crazy stuff. And then immediately after that, James Comey's daughter gets fired. By the way, we have yet to hear if any other lawyer has been fired. The six pack of white women, none of them so far. The other five, we haven't heard anything about them getting fired so far. So what's up with that, though? Don't you see that as a little odd? The timing is a little odd. So I can see why some people are going to look at this situation and go, wait a second, something ain't right. Whoa. Something's wrong here. You mean to tell me that she was one of the main people that took down Jeffrey Epstein? Then she attempted to take down Diddy. She got him a little bit, but not a whole lot. Okay? And now she's getting fired. After they said Epstein, the list does not exist. Don't you think that's a little odd? That's a little odd. I think it's a combination of two different things. I truly do. I think that she knows too much about Jeffrey Epstein. She obviously was deep diving into this situation. She was doing all kinds of work. I'm sure she knows there's a list. I'm sure she knows who the people are, whose names there are on this list. Okay? Yeah, I believe she has seen this list. She's seen it. That's what I truly think. I think she's seen it. Okay? And then, yeah, on top of it, they're like, well, she did kind of screw the pooch on the Diddy trial. So, yeah, we should just let her go. But she did get Jeffrey Epstein. She did get him. She got him. She may have missed the mark on Diddy, but she got J.E. She most definitely got J.E. Let's continue on. The reason for her firing was not immediately clear, but a person familiar with the situation said being a Comey is untenable in this administration, given her father, James Comey, is constantly going after the administration. So that doesn't help the situation at all either. He does not like Trump. He does not like the Trump administration. Trump knows this. And he's going, well, F it. F you, man. You going to keep going after me? Oh, well, I'm going to go and hit it where it hurts. I'm going to get your daughter fired. How you like them apples? Right? That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. You know? Shut up. In fact, here's a way I'm going to get you to shut up. I'm taking your daughter's money. I'm taking your daughter's livelihood. Try me again. One thing is for sure. Trump really loves his revenge, and he really loves to serve that revenge as cold as he can. So, the former FBI chief, a Donald Trump critic, is currently under investigation for possible false statements to Congress. He was separately questioned in May by the U.S. Secret Service after he posted a photo on social media showing seashells on a beach that spelled out 8647, which he denied is a call for violence against the president. Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. So Maurene's dismissal comes as Trump faces growing pressure to release more information on Epstein, the disgraced financier. And let's just put financier in air quotations, okay? The monster, the serpent, okay? Dog water. Moving on, the Justice Department last week released a memo that there was no Epstein client list, and the Trump administration announced that it didn't plan to release any more documents in the investigation. And we already know about this. Epstein is a convicted SO whose criminal case has long captured significant public attention. In 2019, while he was awaiting trial in a federal criminal case, he was found gone because they say self-deletion. Okay? So again, she was the lead prosecutor in the investigation and prosecution of Epstein and his former girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell is convicted and is serving a 20-year sentence, which we already know. She has appealed, but that has been denied so far, if I'm correct. Now, earlier Wednesday, Trump said in a post on social media, the controversy around Epstein is BS. He said BS and said that his supporters who care about it are weaklings. The president also attacked the credibility of the federal investigation into Epstein on Tuesday, claiming that the files were made up by Comey. Remember, he said Comey in the tweet or in his Truth Social post. He said, oh, it's Obama, it's Comey, it's Biden administration. So, of course, you got Comey's name, the dad, by the way, not the daughter, but he's sitting there going like, oh, well, if he's corrupt, she's corrupt as well. So she's going to lose her job now. Ain't that crazy? Many of the president's supporters hoped that releasing additional information on the case would implicate other high-profile figures or undercut the notion that Epstein did the unthinkable to himself. So the U.S. Office for the Southern District of New York is also saw a significant leadership shakeup earlier this year when the then acting U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon, no relation to Vidal Sassoon, quit her post instead of dropping the federal case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Again, very, very interesting stuff. Let's take a look at this here.
Welcome back here at 2 Live now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft. Some breaking news to report to you out of New York City. Live picture there over New York Harbor. You can see there the Statue of Liberty live picture. I want to put this up, a headline there from the New York Post. Take a look at this. Maurene Comey, the daughter of the ex-FBI director James Comey, has been fired from the U.S. Attorney's Office there in the Southern District of New York. Remember, she just worked on the Diddy trial. She also has worked on the Epstein case. The Associated Press has it as follows, that the DOJ has fired Maurene Comey. Now, she is the daughter, like I said, of James Comey. She was a prosecutor in the federal cases against Sean Diddy Combs and Jeffrey Epstein. That's according to two people familiar with the matter telling the AP that today. There was no specific reason, though, given for her firing from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. Now, her termination comes shortly after she prosecuted Combs, who was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges. The rapper was convicted of those lesser prostitution-related offenses. Remember, he'll be sentenced in October. Now, the DOJ recently appeared to acknowledge the existence of an investigation into James Comey, though the basis for that inquiry is unclear. Remember, he was abruptly fired by President Trump in Trump's first term in 2017. So this might be...
And it's because they absolutely hate each other and they don't get along at all, right? And of course, I think that there's things that James Comey knows, and I feel that Maurene possibly knows as well now, or been known about those things. And you got somebody who also is very vulnerable right now, Maurene Comey, because she and the other women, other prosecution, dropped the ball with this Diddy trial. This would be a completely different situation, I think, if she came home with a huge W. She came home with a miniature W. She got the participation prize. You know what I mean? With what he was found guilty on. Real talk. That's like thank you so much for playing Little League Baseball, little Timmy. Good job. Work on that swing. Keep that elbow up. You know what I mean? Like it's sure he's going to go to jail. Sure he's going to go to prison, but they wasted taxpayer dollars to go into that room and fight for 7 weeks. And the information and the stuff that they presented was messy, y'all. It was a mess. We can all agree on that. It was messy. And then it was like they were throwing a whole bunch of things on the wall, hoping that something would stick. And it did not perform the way that they wanted it to. Now, I don't know if that is influenced by Diddy from the outside or anything of that sort. But at the same time, the people that they brought in to testify against Diddy, aside from Cassie, all of them were bad, sloppy, and made a lot of people very confused. Okay. So again, if she went home with a huge W, I don't think she would have lost her job. But because I think it's a combination of a bunch of different things. One, she's James Comey's daughter. Trump hates Comey. Comey hates Trump. And I think he was waiting for an opportunity to get this woman gone. That's what I think. Now that she majorly dropped the ball, because that was a big win for Diddy. And that was a time that was wasted. Real talk, it was. 7 weeks of them just playing around in gray. Real talk, the gray area wasn't very black and white. And they had a hard time really selling that to that jury. I think Trump was trying to find a reason to get her the F out. But then on top of it, she is also the person that was the lead attorney for the Epstein case as well. Perfect reason to get her out. Yeah, the Diddy trial, though, you made us look dumb. You made the feds, you made the government look like Boo Boo the Fool with his pants on the ground. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Yeah, now it's time for you to go. That's what I truly think. It's a combination of a multitude of things. And then, of course, Trump is getting off on the fact that he's getting revenge on someone who does not like him, and he does not like her either. Or him either. I'm sorry. Right? Revenge is a dish best served cold. Am I right or am I right? Let's continue.
News to you. Maybe you don't even know. James Comey has a daughter who worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York on very high-profile cases, like the Sean Diddy Combs case, like the Epstein saga. So she was an assistant prosecutor there in the office. Remember, that was one of the office's most costly prosecutions, and they, according to our legal experts, really came up short. This was a very expensive prosecution, and they did not get a conviction on the most serious charges for Diddy. Remember those charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. He was acquitted on those charges, though Diddy, remember, was convicted of lesser prostitution-related offenses. So Maurene Comey worked on that case. If you were following our coverage of the Diddy trial, and we had that static shot, that camera angle, that vantage point outside the doors of the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan, you would, from time to time, when court was over for the day, see the prosecutors walk out and go home. I remember watching live, seeing Maurene Comey walk out with some of her colleagues after trial was done for the day. Now, the Associated Press has it as follows. There was no specific reason given for her firing. So the AP and others will have to do some more reporting on that, on whether or not this was, warranted or cause. What? Why was she fired?
That's the main question, because they would have to have grounds to get her fired. They would need grounds to get her fired. They can't just walk over to her and say, you gotta go. There's got to be a reason for why she got fired. So let's take a look at this right quick. Again, I'm curious about this too. So she's fired as federal prosecutor in New York. Okay. So longtime Justice Department lawyer Maurene Comey, the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, was terminated from her role as an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York. 4 sources familiar with the matter confirmed to NBC. She served in the role for more than a decade, according to her LinkedIn page. One familiar with her termination said Comey was fired pursuant to Article 2. Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution outlines the president's ability to appoint federal officials across 3 branches of government. Hold on. Remember this Article 2, because we're going to look up some things here in just a minute. So, spokesperson for the Southern District of New York declined to comment. Comey had been involved in high-profile prosecutions in the recent years, including Diddy's case, okay? And then, of course, earlier, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's situation, okay? Comey's termination comes as President Trump faces backlash over a Justice Department memo outlining a decision to no longer release additional information related to Epstein's case and refuting the existence of a client list of individuals that benefited from Epstein's disgusting, deplorable crimes. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I feel like the timing is very bad. They could have done the firing earlier. They could have waited a few more weeks and fired her later. The fact that they fired her so quick does spark and raise some eyebrows for sure. And it does spark a lot of questions, at least for me. I got questions because instantly I'm like, yeah, they didn't do a good job on this trial. But look at what she's done, right? Look at her track record. She took down Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein. That's a big freaking deal. Sometimes these trials don't go according to the plan. It does not mean that she's a bad prosecutor or a terrible lawyer. It just means that they tried, it didn't work out. Those things do happen. So of course there's going to be people wondering what the heck is going on here, right? And why she was being fired under Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. Now remember, Let me remind you, it says it outlines the president's ability to appoint federal officials across 3 branches of government. So, what are the grounds of getting fired? Right? I'd like to know that too. So, take a look at this. This is very interesting. So, Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution outlines the grounds for removing the president, vice president, and other civil officers of the United States from office. These grounds are treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors, impeachment by the House of Representatives, and conviction by the Senate are the processes for removal. So, hold on. House of Representatives has sole power to impeach, meaning they bring formal charges. The Senate can then conducts a trial, but this is obviously something completely different. All right. But when it comes to her job, some of the grounds of which she would be removed from her job would be because of these grounds: treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. So what is it that she could have done that would get her fired in this way? Like here's the thing. Is it solely because poor performance with Diddy? Or is there something else going on here? Is she innocent and she got fired for no reason? Or is there something else sinister going on? Is there something that she knows? Did she pay somebody off? Something like that. I don't know. But I know that is a route I'm sure people are starting to ask. Because they said, like I said, oh, dear Lord, again. Come on back. Okay, we are back. Again, there are some things that just don't make any sense here. And yeah, Ali, maybe she's just a victim, okay, of who her father is. And that's all it is. But at the same time, she is also somebody who worked very closely. She was one of the lead attorneys on the Epstein situation as well, Epstein case as well. So you know for a fact she knows things. Timing is weird. Timing is very, very weird. And yeah, I agree. The Diddy trial, the Epstein files, the list, etc., is way bigger than the Diddy trial. But it was a bad look for the feds. And I could see them leaning on that as an excuse to terminate the likes of Maurene Comey solely because of that. You see what I'm saying? But you're right. The Diddy trial is nothing. It's peanuts in comparison to Epstein and whether or not this list exists. It freaking exists. Come on now. We all know that. All right. But this is very weird to me, guys. It is very weird. I look at both sides and I'm like, well, it could be that. It could be this too. Are they just trying to throw somebody under the bus just because they can? And somebody's head has to roll, or they're using this as an excuse to try to scare people off? Remember what he did with Rosie O'Donnell? Hey, I'm thinking about removing her citizenship. I don't like her. I really don't like her. I just want to get rid of her. Just take her citizenship, even though I'm sure her lineage goes, her American, lineage goes hundreds of years back, but no big deal. I want her out, right? Distraction. Right here, James Comey's daughter getting thrown out. Distraction? Maybe. Very well could be. Because he's trying everything he can. He's like, Everyone keeps talking about him. Why won't you just let this man die? He has said that. He most definitely has. So like I said, something ain't right. Something definitely ain't right. JB, what up, man? What's good? Shout out to WFLA. Okay. What's up, man? Appreciate you, homie. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. If you guys don't know about WFLA, y'all need to go check it out. Okay. JB, he does fantastic work over there. And they doing some great things over there on that station and everything. Go check it out. WFLA for sure. Okay. It's nice to see a good friend in the chat. Real talk. But again, something seems a little bit off here. Okay. I'm just going to say it. Something seems off. I can't really put my finger on it. But something about this it's just eating away at me. You know what I mean? But let's take a look at.
This is a Fox News alert. This has been a bad few weeks stretch for Jim Comey's daughter.
That is the worst start. No, it's been a bad few weeks, or it's been a bad week or two for Trump right now and the Trump administration. I'm sorry. Not sorry. It's been a bad one. Okay? Sure. You got to understand. We all have moved on from that trial. You see what I'm saying? The verdict hangover came and went. We all sat there going, why didn't you call in KK? Right? And we moved on. We're like, all right, so he got away by the skin of his teeth. Yeah, he's going to be locked up for a few years, but it's not enough for a lot of people. Some people feel like it's not justice served, right? But we moved on. As soon as they dropped the bombshell of, oh yeah, there's no list. It's been the worst week ever, okay, for the Trump administration. Let's be real. Not Comey.
She was just fired by the DOJ. She's known for a couple things. She just lost the Diddy case, of course, and she was Jeffrey Epstein's prosecutor.
Here's the thing, though. You know how they just started with that? You gotta. I mean, first off, we're watching Fox News. This is from Fox. Obviously, they are still supporter of Trump. They still lean right. Okay, no matter what, no matter if Trump goes, Fox News, they're fake news or whatever he does now, because which is wild that he sits there and says that now about the same news channel that has hoisted him on their shoulders. You see what I'm saying? But it's interesting how they lead this with that. This woman also took down Jeffrey Epstein. That is massive. And Ghislaine, massive. But they start off with, bad week. Huge loss with Diddy. Massive win with Epstein and Maxwell. What are you talking about? But I understand, we have a bias here, obviously, and they're slurping it up, okay? Slurping it up like Diddy's spilled vanilla milkshakes, okay? I drink your milkshake. I drink it up, right? So that's what they're doing. They're swallowing up.
So the daughter of the former FBI director, James Comey, she's a veteran federal prosecutor, worked on these cases. Maurene Comey is fired. So this is sending tongues a-wagging as the internet personalities and others, and this show has asked questions about what happened with the files, why did we overpromise and underdeliver? But the president has made his opinion on this very clear over the last couple of days. We're going to continue to cover this. And we also have big developments in the Biden cover-up, not exactly a household name, but inside the Beltway. They dubbed him Dr. Jill's work husband. Anthony Bernal appeared today before the House.
Notice that spin. Okay. Well, yeah, that whole conversation about Biden is an absolute cluster F. We can all agree on that too. Okay. We can agree on that. That was bad. Okay. That was bad. Whoo! The moments when he's getting done, well, come on. And God bless America. And he walks off and it's like, no, baby, no, you're supposed to go off the stages and the exit isn't this way, it's that way, right? Pretty bad stuff. And that's a whole other cluster in itself, for sure, okay? Which, of course, we'll I'm sure talk about that at some point, okay? But nonetheless, you have James Comey's daughter, Maurene Comey, fired from the job she's been doing for well over a decade now. She's one of the people that took down Epstein. She tried to take down Diddy. It wasn't very successful. But nonetheless, she took down one of the biggest monsters, basically the boogeyman, okay, a modern day boogeyman. And I'm wondering why. Why was she taken out? Why was she fired? At some point, they have to explain what happened here. Was it wrongdoing on her side? Or is there something going on within the Trump administration that's making them shaking their little booties and they feel that maybe she knows some stuff and she might just get inspired enough to do an exclusive or post something online or something? Now, I know somebody just said something. I saw it in the corner of my eye. Somebody said something along the lines of maybe this is Trump. Trump is showing some sort of cognitive decline. Maybe. I don't know. Because it doesn't make any sense for him to sit there and go, we're going to drain the swamp. Drill, baby, drill. You know, he doing all that. And then seconds later, he's like, I don't understand why everybody's talking about this. Why you keep on talking about this? Let's move on. Y'all are weak for talking about this. Y'all are dumb. Y'all being bad. You're bad people for asking this stuff. It's like, wait a second. What planet did you just suddenly come back from? Because this entire time you've been saying one thing to all of us. So make that make sense. Is it cognitive decline? Or is it just his way of spinning the situation? That's the thing. I know what I'm saying, I'm sure is not popular opinion, and I don't care. So here's my thought. I think he has a tendency, I think he knows, not even a tendency. I think he knows that as soon as he opens his mouth, everyone grabs onto every single syllable that comes out of his mouth. So as soon as he says completely obliterated, everyone says, well, then it was obliterated. His hardcore fan base sits there and says, and supporters, okay, his MAGAteers will sit there and say, well, that's it, obliterated. See what he did? He's fantastic, right? Right? So he's doing the same thing. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. What? Why are you asking about that? You know this man is dead. He's been dead 3-4 years, and you guys are still talking about this stuff? Come on. Let's move on. You're bad people. Chastising his own supporters. Calling them weaklings. For even asking a question that he talked about. You know, it's like telling your kids, we're going to the pool today. And you know for a fact they are all hype about going to the pool. Okay? They're definitely excited. They can't wait to eat some hot dogs and jump into the pool and swim in all day long. And then out of nowhere, because you promised it in the very beginning of the day, you said, we going to the pool. When I get back from work, we going to the pool. Kids are like, yay! Yeah, I can't wait. Oh my God, I'm going to get the floaties and we're going to do all this stuff. It's going to be awesome, right? You come back home from work, you're tired as hell, okay? You want nothing to do with nothing. You just want to turn on the TV and just melt into the couch, right? And not move a muscle. But unfortunately, you did tell the kids you're going to the pool. So they're going, pool, 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 pool. And you are literally turning to your own children and saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said anything about no pool. Shame on you for asking me. Don't you see that I'm tired? Don't you see that I'm tired? I just came back home. Why are you asking about some pool? We ain't going to no damn pool. That's basically what's going on here. He's been promising all of everybody that we're all going to go into the pool, right? And then suddenly when it's time to go to the pool, he now is going, how dare you ask about going to some damn pool? What the hell's wrong with you? Ungrateful Americans. That's basically what he's saying. That's insane. That's insane. And then the kids are all sitting there crying, sad, now mad, and they think you're a terrible parent because you said something in the very beginning of the day, hyped it up and everything. And they've been so hype about it. And then you ripped that dream, that excitement, that thing that they were looking forward to all day away from them. That's messed up. That's wrong. By the way, if you didn't catch the analogy, don't do that to your kids, okay? Diggity damn. Don't do that to your kids. Trust me, you'll thank me later. It is diabolical to do that. But what's diabolical about this is that he's spinning it and going, you guys are weak. And you know, there's a few guys out of here that are watching this, okay, that are listening to what Trump is saying. That probably has done a couple burpees in their lives and done a couple, shoulder presses. Okay, they cosplay as CrossFitters. Okay, that are sitting there going, I ain't no weak mother lover. I ain't weak. We're gonna move on. We're not even gonna talk about it anymore. He just called me weak. I ain't weak. I am not a bad person. I'm a good Christian man. Right? We're moving on. Moving on. That's what he wants. To point the finger and go, you're weak. Don't call me weak. Don't call me weak. And then what happens? Soon there'll be a wave of people going, why? Yeah, why haven't we moved on from this? Guys, let's move on. Stop being weak. That's what he's hoping for. Because he believes that we hold on to every single word that he says. If he says, I don't know, I tried out a new diet and it's just eating nothing but ice cream all day. It's really great. This melts off the fat. It's absolutely amazing. Somebody will actually do it. I mean, Trump said to do it and he said it worked. So I believe him. You see what I'm saying? So he has this confidence that he believes that whatever he says is scripture. And right now, I think a lot of people are starting to believe that a lot of things that he's saying, at least as of late, is absolute BS. I hope we don't let up. And I hope that people continue to demand that the files come out. Unfortunately, we're in a situation that even if that stuff does come out, we will always be wondering, is it truly all of it? That's the only sad thing about this whole situation. Because this whole thing's so screwed up. Trust me, we can look at it and it can have a list of names. And instantly there's going to be somebody out there going, that's not the whole list. There's 12 people on here, but there's 20. So where's the other 8? Like I said, it's not going to be enough. And that's the sad part. Oh, let's make sure that all the credible information comes out. What's considered credible and what is considered not credible? That's the question. And I think that's going to be the thing that we are going to have looming over our heads forever. It's sad. Because this situation could have been approached in a completely different way, and it didn't. In fact, maybe this was the whole approach. To screw it up so much that we don't even know which way is up. Which end is up now. And so that when the stuff does eventually come out, there will be so much confusion We don't know, and we will never truly know what is real and what is not when it comes to the Epstein files. And maybe that's the approach that they're trying to do. It's crazy. I don't know, guys. It's crazy. And it's really sad because the American people deserve to know. There should be absolute transparency. But for once, I feel like the people who have been hardcore supportive of Trump, that feel that he can do no wrong, I think that they're finally waking the F up and realizing that, oh my gosh, Trump, wow, he really is a politician. That's the show, guys. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do me a favor before you get out of here, okay? Do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. All right? Don't worry, we're going to be back on tomorrow morning. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to be watching and talking about a whole bunch of things. Get ready. It's about to get crazy, okay? So please be sure to hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on those other platforms. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there. And also, please, go check out my new channel, Pascal Raw. Subscribe over there as well. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Hit that notification bell on all those platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. Make sure you hit that join button down below. Check out my Patreon, check out my locals, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys? Anyway, have a great rest of your night, guys. Sleep well, and we'll be talking here very, very soon. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.